So much. Welcome. Welcome to the 5th annual Virginia Sea Grant. Every speaker's going to have to come up here and tighten this every time because it's going to just... This is our fifth one of these. How many here have been to 3 or more? All right, that's great. How many is this the first? Oh, okay, about half. That's great. This is a really important event for Virginia Sea Grant. We hold it every year. It's part of helping our program learn about what we're doing in all different parts of our program, across our institutional boundaries and our functional boundaries. And so, welcome. It's great to see you here. In the first 4 years of this event, a lot of our goals were about increasing awareness across our partners, across our functional areas about each other. It was awareness building. We've been pretty successful at that. So we're really thinking about, as we're moving forward with the symposium, changing it up a little bit. And you're seeing some changes in this agenda that you picked up, where we're focusing on some really specific topics this afternoon and trying to dive deeper into that same idea of integration, but around very specific projects and specific topics, and hopefully getting to a little deeper level of awareness and integration across our programs. So we're excited about that. I want to take a quick second to thank my staff, Susan Parr there, Janet Kren, and who's probably out front, and Sabine Rogers. I couldn't do this without them. They're great. Logistics, you probably have known the restrooms are right back here, so if you come out this door, he's down the hallway that way. Your coats on the coat rack. The coat rack's going to be moved downstairs. That's where this afternoon you got to be leaving from downstairs. So if you have your coats, they will follow you. And for speakers, be careful of the cords up here. One of our speakers wanted to make sure this thing could be moving around so that they could talk and move. So the cords are longer. So be really careful. And what I always do at this event to launch it is kind of give Virginia Sea Grant's annual report. You folks are here because you are project participants. You are on projects, you are partners, you are advisory committee members, you are part of what is Virginia Sea Grant. And so what I will do with my annual report is hit a couple overall programmatic achievements from this last year, hit some highlights, some more specific highlights about some transitions in people, and talk a little bit about our investments and where the Sea Grant money goes, and then a little bit about what's in store for 2014, where we're going this year, and if I have time and move fast enough, I've got a little bit of time that I want for some additional achievements, and then another announcement at the end as well. So for those of you who have been here for 3 years or more, 3 of these or more, you've heard me and probably gotten tired of hearing me talk about the organizational design issues that we've been working on in Sea Grant for the last 5 years, building a charter among our 6 universities that lay out this mission of integration, working through the bylaws and the operating procedures that are defining what partners are and what roles and responsibilities partners have, and as well as then the very specific MOUs that are in place with VIMS and Old Dominion University and William & Mary's Law School that are taking that another step further onto some very specific detailed partnership efforts. Well, that's kind of boring organizational stuff and not a lot of fun to hear sometimes, but it's been really successful. It's worked well for us. Over this last year, we heard from National Sea Grant Office about the annual performance reviews that all the Sea Grant programs around the country go through. It's a 4-year, every 4 years you're reviewed for 4 years of performance. And we were so successful with that performance review that we more than doubled our merit bonus contribution to our budget. So that's growth in the base program because of our performance. That's good news. The focal areas that really did well for us were in literacy and healthy coastal ecosystem issues. There's a kind of some strategic plan focal areas. So we're really proud of that accomplishment. It was great. In addition, you've heard me speak a lot about regaining the accreditation that we had lost, the college status, what it's called in the Sea Grant logo world. And we had a site visit in September. Several of you participated in different ways. The subcommittee wrote a report that has been approved by NOAA and is moving up the chain of command, saying things like Virginia Sea Grant has undergone a major transformation to a high-performing program, and that they unanimously and enthusiastically recommends the designation of Sea Grant College. So that's good news too. We're now going to be getting a letter someday from the Department of Commerce and with a big bronze plaque. So, so that's good news. Thank you. We've had some additional transitions. We've had some staff changes. Both Cheryl Jenkins and Margaret Pizer. Cheryl was our fiscal officer, and Margaret was in our communication program. Both have made moves to be closer to family. Cheryl in Atlanta, and Margaret to a part-time work-at-home position, so she can be with her kids. But we've had new arrivals too. Shauna Jones and Mary Carson Saunders have been part of the William and Mary Law's Virginia Coastal Policy Clinic, have become part of our program. Michelle Covey, who's here, doesn't officially start for a couple days, but we called her up, who is a new faculty of practice member, jointly funded with between Old Dominion University and Virginia Sea Grant, focusing on climate resilience and adaptation. Sabine Rogers, who's in the Virginia Sea Grant. I know she's not happy with the picture I picked, but Sabine is in our office, and she's a new meeting planner and executive assistant, and is going to be a really important role as we move forward with continuing our events and meetings like this and what they do for us. And Don McCain, who was Don coming in, thanks, is on board with VIMS in the Marine Advisory Services Unit. So exciting growth in the program. You've also seen this little topology graph that emerged through our bylaws and operating principles that are really looking at and defining what our partners are and what kind of partners we have. And we're seeing changes and evolutions here that are really exciting. Some real integration, both with some of the programming that's emerging from Old Dominion University and their Mitigation Adaptation Research Institute, and the William and Mary Law School's Policy Clinic, both focusing on adaptation issues from different perspectives and getting a chance to work together across those institutional boundaries. It's really exciting. We're seeing some new operational partner models emerging. The NOAA Chesapeake Bay office and Virginia Sea Grant are going to be co-funding a postdoc in ecosystem sciences soon this year. That's exciting for us. We've been working closely with the Middle Peninsula Planning District Commission and exploring how university community development partnerships can emerge, and how we might actually even be able to tap on and work with community development block grant funding to advance faculty science teams working with local communities. And we've got a really vibrant partnership with WW International, working in collaborative fisheries research and using collaborative fisheries research as a model to advance bycatch reduction around the world. So some exciting new operational partner models are emerging as well. On the investment side, you've heard us say a lot. We really like focusing on the graduate research fellowships that you're going to hear from later, our internship programs. There's research interns in our communication program. There's photo and design interns in our communication program. There's policy analysis interns in our program. And there are the canal fellows, the ones there's POP-DI fellowships, there's coastal zone management fellowships. Sea Grant runs a lot of these opportunities for growing the next generation of scientists, and we're really excited about that, and we put a lot of energy and time into that, both in terms of building their own professional development capacity and building them as a cohort. Really important for us, and you're going to see some of those presentations here shortly. On the canal side, we have 3 placements this year that we're really excited about. Bonnie Myers from Virginia Tech is going to be in the NOAA OAR's Office of Communication, Ocean and Atmospheric Research. It's also the office that Sea Grant sits under. Sam Bickel from VIMS is going to be at U.S. Department of Energy. And Anna Kilius, who's with the William and Mary Law School, is going to be on the Hill in Representative Carol Shea Porter's office from New Hampshire. A couple slides just on investments and where our dollars go. The Sea Grants operate under 4-year proposals with NOAA. We get our budgets 1 year at a time, like most folks from NOAA, but we have a 4-year program. So we've just shifted from our last year of the omnibus into a new omnibus award. And so we were about a mid-sized Sea Grant program in the national network, $1.4 million a year, 5.8 over the 4 years. A couple things that highlighted from this last year is that we were all dealing with sequestration issues. So we were freezing some of the work in program development funds because we just didn't know how big our cut was going to be. We did take a cut, but it wasn't as big as it could have been. National Sea Grant Office took a big hunk of that too. We'll get some good news that I'll show you in a second. But I also see some really interesting integration across our university partners in some of our outreach activities as well. And as we move forward into the next 4 years, we're seeing a growth in the base program. So we're 1.5 million a year now, 6 million over the 4 years, and some really nice outreach partnership activities going on in the extension side with our continued work and with Virginia Tech's AREC program, as well as VIM's Marine Advisory Services, with these additions of ODU and the William and Mary Law program. So it's been really exciting. We've also continued to invest in graduate research fellows, and there'll be RFPs every year. And this last year, we also participated in a Mid-Atlantic regional research project that was about how large was that overall award, Susan? There was 4 or 5 states on board, and the Virginia component is some economic analysis in fisheries that is going to GMU, George Mason. Good news, I wanted to highlight that this is what the federal budget FY13 looks like for us on the national scale. So this is the national base number is 6.18 million. In addition, there'll be 4.5 million of aquaculture research and extension activities, and a $1 million grand challenge, which is still kind of to be defined. But what I think is really interesting to see is track that with our base over the last few years. This was 13 was the sequestration cut number. That wasn't good for anybody. But our 14 number is getting us really close to where we were even in the 12 stimulus year. So I think we're in good shape. And what we have coming up next is, well, you've already heard about kind of college status and charter and MOUs, but now it's time to do the signings and have the ceremonies and all the fun stuff with that. But it's also really time for us to dive back into our strategic plan and engage our external advisory committee in planning and establish sort of the policy and oversight board engagement from the university side. You'll see another RFP this year on the graduate research fellowships that comes out every year. I think hopefully you'll see continued growth in our knowledge management systems, which is what we think about both in terms of hard IT systems, but also soft systems, these sorts of meetings, these sort of networking opportunities to continue to grow the integration across our program areas, but also to be more proactive in finding where the pockets of knowledge are across the state. And I think you're going to see continued evolution of the partnership models because everybody's thinking actively about how do they get the most mileage out of their limited dollars. So that's what I had. I want to thank you for coming to the symposium. I want you to hopefully enjoy today and cross some boundaries. And before